Hello everybody, welcome to Programming with C++. Today let us see the third type of control statement, that is jump statement. Even before knowing what are control statements, we were thinking that program execution was sequential. But after getting to know about control statements like selection and iteration, we thought either you'll select some set of statements or you can repeat, which is something very special or very different called as a jump statement. As the name indicates, jump is similar to jump or the control transfer within a program from one point of a program to anywhere in the program. It's literally you jump from one point to another point in a program, and for this you don't need a condition. Like for iteration and all, we used to check for a condition and then do. But jump is an unconditional transfer from program control within a program. And then jump statements are of three types. Either you can have go to jump statement or break or continue. I think you'll have some idea getting to know about the name itself, like go to or break or continue. Let us see them one by one. Let us start off with go to statement. Go to statement transfer control from one point in the program to any other point in the program. Like might be you're at one point of the time, either you can go forward or backward. So that's why it is one point in the program to any other point. After goto, we have a label, and this statement provides an unconditional jump to the statement indicated by the label. So immediately after the keyword goto, you'll have a label. That's what the statement says. And wherever the label, the other thing of the label is there, you can jump there, and that jump is unconditional. You just find goto that label, you can jump to that label. And label can either be before or after the go to statement. If the label was before the go to statement, then it is actually a backward jump. That is, you're going back to statement which is already executed. You will be executing the same set of statements again. But if it is a forward jump, that is, the label is after go to, like you have go to at the top and label is down, then what happens? You will be skipping some set of statements between the go to and the label. And there is no declaration required for label. As you know, any variable or something, you declare it first in the program. So label is not a variable and you don't need to declare them. Let us see the syntax of label. Syntax of label is label followed by colon. It's so as simple as that. Label can be any name and then followed by a colon. If you have, that becomes a label. In this example, okay fine, let us take the same example of printing 5 natural numbers. Initially, you have I equals to 5. So I equals to 1. After that, here you find a label. That is loop followed by colon. This becomes a label. And after the loop, you have cout I. Hence, you print the value of that and you increment it. And then you have a condition. If the condition is not there also, it's fine. This if I less than or equal to 5, within if condition, you have this part. So, go to is not conditional. But if is conditional, right? So go to is actually unconditional only. To enter go to loop, you have a if condition. If I is less than or equal to 5, then you have go to loop. So this go to loop, what does this do? This just jumps from this point of time to this loop. So it is jumping from one point to another in the program, right? From here you jump to this point. So how long will this happen? First you print I equals to 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, you again have go to. So until this condition becomes false, that is, once I equals to 6, this condition becomes false and you start executing the next set of statements after this. So this is similar to printing 5 natural numbers. Next type of jump statement is break. What does the name break indicate? Break is something just going out or like getting out of something. Hence, break is to terminate a statement sequence in switch. Break is used to terminate a statement sequence in switch. I think we studied the switch, right? Switch came under selection statement. In switch, we used some keyword called break to check for against the case condition. If case condition 1 is true, you have some set of statements, and we used to break out of switch. So switch is also something like a loop, but not actually a loop, with some set of statement. To come outside that, we used to use the word break, and then it is used to exit the loop. Loop, what is a loop? You can have something which keeps repeating, right? We have while, do while, and for. Hence, when it is used in while, do while, and for, the control transfer to the statement after the loop. If you have a word break within the loop of a program statement, whatever the condition is or whatever statement has to be executed, the control directly transfers outside the loop. This is actually, like, it has few drawbacks also, but then it is useful when there is some error in the code or there's something going wrong. That time you can use a break. Next type of jump statement is continue. As break comes outside a loop, continue starts with the loop. So it's something opposite to break. Continue, control transfers to the beginning of the loop. Once you have a continue in the program, the control transfers back to the start of the loop. Again, it will execute the same set of statements again. Whereas break used to skip some set of statements, whereas continue is repeating some set of statements. Let us see some example program of a break statement. Here initialization is done, that is declaration is done. Int a, b, c and I. We have 4 variables. Let us see what are they used for. And then we have a for loop, which is for I equals to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. So by this you get to know that this loop runs 10 number of times, because from 1 to 10 it is 10 number of times. And within the loop, you ask the user, you print, right, cout, enter 2 numbers. So this get printed on the output screen. The user will read this, and once you read this enter 2 numbers, the user will enter 2 numbers, and that is stored in 2 variables, because we have C in A and B, right? So A and B will hold 2 numbers now. And then if B is equal to 0, we break. Why do we do this? Let us see the else part. If it is not, just imagine A and B are some different numbers like 6 and 3, and then once you go to the else part, like 3 is not 0, and then what you do is you do division. C equals to A by B. So for division by 0 is an error, right? That's why we checked for this condition. If B is equal to 0. If it was 0, you just break out. So you just break outside the loop and come. Else you do the calculation and you print the output. And after doing this, what do? You increment I. I gets incremented and the process keeps repeating. Like after I gets incremented, you again check for the condition and this happens. Either one of the time you'll come out, that is either when the condition fails or you find B equals to 0, you come outside the loop, whichever is soon. Let us see example of a continue statement. First, it's similar to that. We have declaration. We have declared A, B, C and I, and then we have the same for loop. So it's like entering the loop 10 number of times, and then here you have cout enter 2 numbers and the user enters 2 numbers if B is equal to 0. It's like we check for the same condition, but at this point of time, what do? We print one error statement telling divide by 0 error. So the user gets to know the user has inputted 0 and there's something wrong going on. And then after that you continue, right? This continue, what will happen? Here I've showed it by an arrow mark. From here it goes back to this statement. And then again you'll have enter 2 numbers. And this will repeat. So it's not necessary 10 number of times you enter. It's like within the loop you can go any number of time, as many number of time the user inputs B equals to 0. Like for I equals to, when I is 1 itself, you could repeat the same set of statements 10 or 20 or n number of time, depending on how many number of time the user inputs n as 0. B as 0. If I is 1 and the user keeps inputting B as 0, we keep asking enter 2 numbers, there is an error, enter 2 numbers. But in previous case, it wasn't that. Once we just find break, we used to jump from here to here and just execute this state of line. But at this point of time, we just keep asking. So it's not that we execute only 10 number of times. Let us see an example of the control statements what we have studied. Example program of control statements. Do you know what a factorial is? A factorial of a number is nothing but like factorial of 5 is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So it keeps on going, like you multiply with the number lesser than that, one number lesser than that. So that is called a factorial. Let us see the program for finding factorial of a number using the control statements what we have studied. First, this is the preprocessor directive #include iostream.h. and then here you have hash include conio.h. Then we enter the main, and after that you have clear skin. It's all the same structure of a program. And then here we have enter two numbers to find factorial. Once you enter a number to find factorial, the user can enter any number, and that is stored in Cn, because you have declared n as integer. Whatever the user enters, that is stored in the variable n. And then once the user has inputted any number, for that what do we do is, first we have we have declared fact, right? So now we initialize fact to 1, because initially factorial is 1, and then we run this loop n number of times, and within the loop we have fact equals to fact into I, because here I keeps incrementing, and so you keep doing fact into fact, fact equals to fact into I. That's nothing but doing like 5 into 4 into 3, so on. And then you just print the factorial of the number, because fact finally holds the factorial of the number. And here, because there's only one set of statements which we keep repeating, that is fact equals to fact into. Okay, so here there's only one set of statement which we keep repeating, that is fact equals to fact into I. We don't use the flower braces. And the output of this is enter a number to find factorial, and the user has inputted 4, and so the output here you'll have is factorial of 4 is 24. Let us trace this so that you'll be understanding what really happens in this program. Initially fact is 1, and then you enter the loop, that is for I equals to 1, I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus, and fact equals to fact. This is the main part of the program code which is happening. First initial I equals to 1 and fact equals to 1, and then what you do is, we have fact equals to fact into I, because I is 1, fact is 1, or fact is 1 itself, 1 into 1, and then I becomes 2, you increment it, fact is still 1, and then you perform I into fact, this 2 into 1, hence fact becomes 2. At this point of time I is 3 and fact is 2, fact equals to fact into I, you get I equals to fact equals to 6, and then you have I equals to 4, because I gets incremented to 4, and fact is 6 from this line, fact equals to 2 into 3, that is 6. Hence what do you do is, in the next line, fact equals to 6 into 4, which is 24. When do you stop that? Because I is become equal to 4, hence you stop and you come outside the loop and you print factorial of 4 is 24. So this is how the process keeps repeating. So only this one set of statement is being performed n number of time, because our n was 4, we repeated it 4 number of times. And then make sure you trace any program, and then I've used many example segment of C++ segment, so you can actually have preprocessor directives, and those are the important segments of the code. To that, please add preprocessor directives and other important functions like getch and clear screen, and try to convert into a program, because the main segment what is there in this is only these 3 parts, but that can be converted into a program like this, previously what we have done. So the other statements or any small example programs which I've done also, you can convert it into program and execute it. For executing program, you can download Turbo C++ or any other online websites are there. So in that, you please type these programs and check the outputs to know what really is happening. Thank you.